I would like to start it off, Ms. Brown, and just ask for the students who are here with us today who would like to get more involved in their community and more knowledgeable in politics, where do you think that they should begin?
Oh, that's a great question. So, I think that part of, let me say this, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we're looking for the perfect organization. I haven't found that, including the organizations that I've started, right? I haven't found the perfect organization, right? But I think the best thing to do is use a standard of um, what it is that you are trying to learn more. Like, I think go into an environment that you can actually have, that is a safe environment, that you can actually have free exchange. And sometimes that means going in an environment that everybody doesn't think like you. If everybody's going to think like you, then I mean, but I think part of it is, at the very least for me, I'm only involved myself in organizations that have the same values that I have. People can have different approaches to it, but at the very least, it has to have the same values. And so, what I do think in this moment, that every single person, and you can always change your mind, y'all. Like, I'm raising this because I think it's really important that in this period of time, that everybody should have a political home. I say that everybody should be a member of some organization. It can be a little civic church group. It can be a book club. It doesn't matter what it is. You need some kind of political home. You need some organization. Why? Part of it is, I think that there's something that is so obsessed with individualism in this country that we will literally create these theories in our head of what the world should be, and we judge everybody else in the world against that. Right? We'll get our information from Twitter or Facebook, and there's never any real dialogue to work through kind of these ideas and these thoughts with other people around practical, like in the relationship. Part of what is revealed in our relationship and being with each other is there oftentimes there's aspects of the truth that you can actually gather and gain through being in relationship, right? Not just in terms of a theory or a hashtag or article that you wrote. And so I think it's really important that you join a political home. So there's a couple of things I'm going to say. One, I think that you should find a political home, find some organization that you are supporting. And what does support look like? Support means that you join, you become a member. At the very least, you contribute something, at least $5. Let me tell you why. Because when we actually invest our money in something, right, it's a different kind of investment, right? And it doesn't matter what the amount is. I'm quite sure the organization will want as much as you can do, but there's something about making kind of that investment that actually kind of helps you kind of think. It elevates that in many ways for you. And so I think that that's important. I think too, I think it's really important during this time, that we have to study. That I'm glad we're doing the Black History program, but part of what I am finding is I'm hearing people make statements that are ahistorical. Secret, y'all. The movement didn't start when we showed up, and it ain't gonna end when we leave. There is nothing new under the sun. Everything that we are experiencing has been experienced through humanity before, maybe in a different environments, in different contexts, but there's an answer. Everything that we're working with right now, somebody has come up against this, had fought this. It may have been in 1600, it may have been what have you. The bottom line is the human experience is we're all just trying to figure it out. None of us really know. We're really making up all of this, right? We really know. We really don't know. And part of the process of this journey is literally being able to learn more about yourself and others by being in relationships. So I think part of the other piece is not so much about just what the organization does, but you need to be in relationship with other human beings as you're developing your ideology, as you're developing your work, as you're developing your value system going forward. And so I think that that is important. The last thing that I'll say too is, which is part of the historical piece, is that the more that you read about history, the more you feel connected and realize that what you are experiencing, you're not alone. Sometimes people don't want to engage in the movement because it feels overwhelmed. It feels overwhelming, right? And I've felt that way. And I remember being a young woman and feel I was a part of some effort. I can't even remember what it was. And I was feeling overwhelmed. And I remember after that, I was reading slave narratives and I was reading by Harriet Tubman. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, I'm not going through half of this of what she went through. How can I not have hope? Like what? All I gotta do is go get in my car and drive 2 minutes down the street. I got a job. I got all these things, right? And so I think that that's part of the reason why history is so important, because I think it can be instructive. I also think it's important that you're reading your history, but that you're reading other history of other nations and of other people. Right? When you think about part of the Black liberation theology that was created in this country, actually came out of South America, right? It was our Latin brothers and sisters, our Latinx brothers and sisters that actually had a history around how they use faith, a liberation theology, right, to really fuel the movement that was happening there. I'm saying that we can learn from what happened in Haiti. You know, at the time that Haiti got independence, like we don't understand how extraordinary it was. France was the superpower of the world, France and England. And so here you got this little island, right, of the island of Haiti, that literally the uprising of the spirit of those people did when it had never been done. You've got former enslaved Africans to beat the empire. My point is, there are lessons of what we can see throughout. We can go to Jamaica, you right, and we can talk about Nanny. We can talk about a woman who led an uprising, in Jamaica. The point is that the goal is to actually look at the history of human beings, how we have always stood in a space to resist and to advance those who have been transformative, in this world. That's where we should draw our energy from. And I think that that's important too. And I think doing those things are important, a part of getting involved in the work and finding an organization, whether it's a civic group, whether it's a student group that you can be involved in. Like I said, it might not be the best. It might even not be a good experience, but it is an experience that will actually enrich as you go forward. And then you're like, okay, this is an organization. I'm going to go and find this organization. That it is a continuous commitment on your part to be in a space that you can learn, grow, develop, and serve.